Yep, we're good.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to call to order the August 6th meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission, at 6:08 p.m. And a roll call.
Yes.
City Manager.
Yes. Chair Entner.
Here.
Commissioner Jacobson.
Present.
Commissioner Taylor. And Commissioner Firestone. And then you mentioned youth commissioners absent as well, so we'll document those.
Okay, thank you. So we do not have a quorum, but everything on our agenda this evening is informational. So we will just move ahead with that. James, would you put up a flag for us, please, or a camera shot of the flag?
Oh, yeah, James has
Thank you.
There we go.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, Susie is host. Okay, you made it in. Excellent.
Yeah, I've been on hold. It just didn't get released, I guess.
We're working it out.
The learning experience.
Okay, so we'll adjust the roll call to reflect that Commissioner Taylor is here with us. And then we are on to item 3 of our agenda, which is public comment. And we do have one public comment, which I will read. This is from Randy Roth. It says, "Thank you for your ongoing support of the pickleball program. I'd like to ask you to expand the hours of play to match the tennis program. As you know, our numbers are growing and we want to give everybody an opportunity to play. Gracias." So that was from Randy Roth. Thank you. Okay. Item 4 on the agenda is the police report. I don't believe that we have one of those this evening. So we will move on to item 5, which is the Public Works report. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, City Manager Vega, are you handling that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and the update is going to be fairly brief. And we'll handle both items together. The update on the Libby Park artificial grass hill and the update on the repair or replacement of the park misters at Libby Park. And essentially, our current status on any CIP project at this point is that we are, addressing emergency CIP issues. I think the one that we're addressing today as we speak is the light posts at Sarzati Park, which we had identified as an actual hazard and we needed to correct. So we're addressing those. But any non-urgent item at this point is essentially on hold at this time. The current status of our CIP budget is we had just completed road repair before the coronavirus, and essentially we collect, this might be too in the weeds, but we collect TOT every month, and 20% of that goes to CIP. We had just done road repair, so we had, essentially spent the CIP budget, expecting that month we would collect more money, and the following month we'd collect more money and be able to start these projects. When coronavirus hit, I've said this a few times recently because I always think it hit everybody equally, and I think Ojai really is unique in that when it hit for Ojai, hotels closed, and TOT collection went from highest it's ever been to 0 overnight, and did not recover for the months of March, April, May, and the hotels reopened towards the end of June, so we collected a small amount in July for June, but we haven't had a regular TOT or even anything close to a regular TOT collection for that period, and have really had no new funding to go into the CIP. We're hoping that changes for the month of July, which should be coming up, and we should be getting that soon, and that would provide hopefully the first new funding that we can put towards some projects. But at this point, with all the uncertainty and everything, we've kind of put anything we can put on pause to get through this situation. And the challenging thing, and I agree with that, I think somebody said last meeting, you know, it'd be great to be able to do these things while they're not in use, but we just don't know how long we're going to have to get through this situation without funding coming in. So we're being very careful about what we spend and what we prioritize. If things keep reopening, we're in a situation where we could start doing things quickly again. But, you know, as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, things, you know, things were reopening and then we kind of hit pause again. So I don't think we're out of the woods enough that we can give a, you know, a firm date. But both of these projects were in the CIP for this year. But, you know, we'll be bringing a CIP project list back to City Council once we're through this for reprioritization, you know, and kind of resetting. We just aren't at that point yet to know the answer.
Okay, thank you. That's a great explanation. Are there any questions from commissioners?
No.
Well, maybe the transit tax or the hotel tax.
Mm-hmm.
The CIP wasn't based on the increase of that tax, was it? It was based on what was at the time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to clarify that. Make sure that we get, you know, money wasn't being spent that wasn't coming in yet or wasn't even planned for it.
No, but you know, it wasn't being spent before it came in, but essentially with the paving, we spent what was collected, you know, and assuming like everybody did that, you know, we were going to collect the next month, and that didn't happen. So, you know, yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you. Item 6, City Council Liaison Report. I don't know that we have a council liaison on the line, so we will move on to item 7, consent items. And everybody, did everybody get the minutes and have a chance to take a look at those?
Did, but do we have enough to approve them?
No, we don't. It moves those forward. Sorry, thank you. So we will.
You do now, though, right? You have 3.
Oh, we have 3. Yes,
Yeah.
we're
I'm here.
Susie's here. We're back in business.
So easy to not see you there.
So if everybody had a chance, any comments, changes to make on the minutes?
No, they look fine to me.
Okay, so not hearing any, I would entertain a motion.
I'll second. Oh, I'll motion that they
There you go.
approve with no changes.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, so the minutes are
Sorry, I think
approved.
there's a delay. I think there's a slight delay. I'm sorry if it sounds odd. I think because I'm on the call-in, there might be a slight delay. If I'm over talking, I apologize.
No, you're fine. Okay, so next on our agenda, item 8 is presentation, action, and discussion items. And the first of those is an update on COVID-19 activities, and I am thinking that goes back to the city manager.
Yes, thank you. I guess one thing to start, I should have started with this earlier, but Renee Peace, the recreation manager, she is going to be taking some time off over the next month to 6 weeks, is what we know so far. So I will be covering these meetings, and I think we currently have in recreation, we have Vicki Hollinsworth, who I think everybody knows, and we have Megan Sennett working as well, but we are very short-staffed, you know, which makes sense under the circumstances, but we are short-staffed, and so if you have any issues or anything, you can contact one of the 3 of us. And with that, so we are running some programs during coronavirus, not as many as we'd like. You know, I think we've talked about this at the recent meetings that we had opened up some for registration and they just didn't get enough participation, understandably, but we were, you know, we wanted to at least provide that opportunity. We currently have several or a few classes running. We have tennis programs running, weight training, surf camp, which just started on Monday, dog obedience, Aikido, and Tai Chi. So we have each of those running. Some of them actually have a decent turnout. I think the surf camp had 12 participants, which was more than we expected under the circumstances. And obviously they're at the beach, social distanced, as distance as possible. Some of the other programs don't have, as many participants, but that seems to be the big one right now. And so we are rolling those programs out. We still have some wait lists open to see if we get enough participants for things like the day camp programs. And we still aren't seeing a ton of participation there. So we're going to keep trying to run these programs, and we'll still be pretty light staffed because there's just not a whole lot we can do distanced at this point. And then the second kind of leg of recreation right now at this time is recreation is also coordinating the outdoor recreation park rentals. We have a better a name for it, but it's escaping me at this point. But they are coordinating that. People call recreation, fitness instructors and people like that call recreation, request space at the park, fill out an application. Recreation coordinates it, schedules it, make sure that public works and the other departments are aware, police, those people are aware and know that they're permitted to do it. So we've been rolling that out, and we have a few participants of that as well. That one, when we had launched that, we thought that would get a lot of participation. We're seeing 5 to 10 groups a week, which is okay, but it's just, I think what we're seeing is that people still aren't really quite comfortable, coming out yet. So we're going to keep offering that. And then we still have those courses I mentioned earlier that we're going to be offering through the recreation department. And, I think for the immediate future, as we go through this, is we'll probably stay pretty light with those programs and add when we get, a wait list of, we had said, 8 or more people for a program, that we'd add that program. So that's kind of the plan moving forward.
How are we getting, or how are the participants getting to the beach? I was just curious for the surf camp. Are we providing that transportation, or what's the arrangements for that?
That was the same question I asked when I first heard. They said we are not, stuffing everybody in a van to get to the beach. So I was told that the participants have to get to the beach themselves. So they have to get dropped off. Yeah, no, I had the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, is there a new policy that's come up about, and I know, are they doing temperature checks when they're going to the beach, or is it because they're able to social distance that they don't need to do that, or what? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so for our rec programming on site, we were requiring the face coverings, and I believe we were requiring a self-certification, although we have different programs and different processes for each. So I'm saying it from memory. I think we were requiring, basically a self-certification that the person didn't have any symptoms or or issue,
okay,
and a face covering. The surf camp in particular, I would make the assumption that we're treating it the same, but I don't have that offhand. I can find out.
I was just curious. It's fine.
Yeah.
I spoke to Renee today on the phone. I'm just going to add a couple of things. It was mostly the same stuff, but the other, not this last week, but the weekend before, they did rattlesnake training, and it was very popular. They had 20 different participants come with their dogs, so that was something that she wanted to highlight. They recently, Renee, the parks manager, and Megan from the office updated the webpage a little. So if you go and take a look,
okay.
Yeah, it's worth going to look to see. They've just reorganized a little bit and freshened it up a little. The other thing Renee mentioned is they did a survey of seniors just recently to try and find out about times and days and interest. And so they have started back up we used to call it the senior fitness, but I think it's now strength, and we have a better name for it, but I don't have it. That Gary Ryan came back, and he is doing that outside, all outside. And it sounds like they have about a dozen participants, which is great. So that's ongoing for
great.
6 weeks, and that's back. Let's see. Libby Bowl, for those that are interested. Sterling is refunding tickets for this year's concerts that were scheduled.
Mhm.
And then what they're doing, and correct me if I'm off on any of this, James. They are now moving a lot of these events forward to 2021 and holding those dates there. And the same thing is happening for other users. Some of the events that have been going on for years are able to move forward their events into the next calendar year and hold their dates. But if there are any questions about the tickets in Sterling themselves, they're refunding those tickets if it comes up. Sorry. Do you fall programming? Just a couple of notes that I got from Renee is that it'll all be outdoors, and the things that they have that they're working on that are new that aren't going to be continuing on are a kids dance class, an adult dance class, and something that's called Environmental Club, which will be K-8 and run by a retired teacher. These are not for sure yet, but these are things that they have in the works that they're working on for fall programming. So, and then tennis and Tai Chi and Kung Fu and adult strength and all of those things will continue on. Those are just a couple of things I had to add.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was is there anything you want to say about just strictly COVID-19 regarding the city? Any updates that we need to know?
Wow, there's a ton.
It's okay if you don't have something you wanted, but if there's anything new that you want to share.
I could share a couple of things. We just launched, maybe of interest to people. We just launched a new program to allow, a few months back, we launched the outdoor restaurant patio space program. And then we launched the outdoor recreation program space at the parks. But most recently, just in the last couple of weeks, we launched an outdoor business program. And we, the last 3 days, I've said we're issuing our first permit today, and then we keep kind of fine tuning it. We were supposed to issue it this afternoon, but it may be tomorrow at this point. But it looks like the first permit's going to go to Glow West in the arcade. So anybody who's been waiting for their appointment at Glow West can go get their appointment. We also are probably going to issue one in the next couple days to Somatic Sanctuary as well. So it's, we're seeing with all of these things, including the rec program, the restaurants, and all these things, is there's just so much uncertainty, and things open and then they close again. And it's just when we talk to people, there's a demand there, but I think everybody's kind of trying to decide, should we just wait and see if things reopen, or take the leap and invest in setting up an outdoor space. So, as we go through this, I think we'll start seeing more of those things, but we've started to launch some of those things. And those were the most recent happenings. And then just as the other thing this week was we had coordinated with the county to get testing here in Ojai. Both last week and I think it was on Monday or Tuesday of this week, we had testing as well. So we're still trying to get all those things here in Ojai too, which is, it's always a challenge.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. That's great. So B on item 8 is update on pickleball sound mitigation efforts.
Thank you. And we mentioned this at the last meeting that we were setting up a sound mitigation test here on site at the City Hall campus next to the pickleball courts. And so that has been up for a couple of weeks now. And I think we sent an invite to the commission and then also to the city council to come by and check it out. And I've seen several people here. So hopefully everybody's had the chance to come out. We set up, we got this, the equipment's called AcoustiFence, and it's a sound barrier fence. We tried it out originally with about 6 feet in height, and the sound went right over the top. We got a second layer. We put it up, so it's about 12 feet. I think it's 11 feet, 10 inches to be exact. And it seems to be making more of an impact, and we've done some initial measurements to see that. So we're much more encouraged by this. I think one of the questions that will come up and that we'll all have to talk about at some point is, whether it works for, what we've heard is that some areas have said that it doesn't allow airflow to work, the air to flow through very well. And we've heard a couple other, critiques of the way it looks, for example. So for sound, it seems to be doing, it's making an impact, a noticeable impact. It'll just be a question of if this is, ultimately what we want to move forward with installing here permanently.
Okay. Any questions from commissioners?
No.
Just maybe a statement. I think it's important that we follow through with this. We can't keep pushing these guys to the back of the bus. I mean, they really deserve our full attention because they've been here since the beginning, really just begging for some place to play. And we really haven't, we've done with the best we can, but we need to do better, I think.
Thank you.
Susie, any comments?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so 8C is update on council decision for the composition of the Parks and Recreation Commission, and that is also back to you, City Manager.
Thanks. So we brought at the last city council meeting before the summer recess, we brought the introduction of the ordinance, and that might have actually been before the last meeting. It's all a blur now, but we brought I think we were telling you we were bringing it. And so we brought that introduction in. The introduction proposed making the Parks and Rec Commission a 5 voting member commission and with 1 youth non-voting member. We brought that to the city council. City council approved the first reading of the ordinance. So it's step 1 is done. It is scheduled to come back for the second reading and the adoption on August 25th. So unless somebody has a change of heart, it looks like that will be taking effect on August 25th.
All right, thank you. All right, information items. I think we already did this. We skipped ahead and did our recreation report on number 8, so we can move on.
That works.
Commissioner reports and comments. Anyone?
Don't have money for a pool, don't have money for standard CIP. So
We can just say don't have money. That's stop there.
Susie, anything from you?
No, I have nothing to share.
Okay, I just have one comment. As we were discussing the park rentals for fitness classes, and I had mentioned this to James in an email. I am questioning why we are charging these businesses for every time they use the park, where with these other permits for other businesses, we're waiving all of their fees. And so from an equity issue, I'm just curious if that's been discussed, and because it doesn't seem quite equivalent. Because it sounds like if you're going to get, you just need a permit to be on the sidewalk for a restaurant. And it sounds like now you have other businesses that are going to actually be outside doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering if it might be good to not charge a fee, at least for a little while here, to help people get off the ground and maybe waive that for a bit, and then revisit how much time it's taking and whether we want to change that down the road. It might encourage more people to participate. Because if you're a yoga instructor, it's $20 every time you have a class. So if you had 3 classes a day for 3 days a week, it's not a huge amount, but in these times it might be nice to just give a waiver for that as well.
Yeah. No, I saw your email, and I think it's something worth us looking at. We write when we create these programs, we write these executive orders, anticipating what we think is going to happen, and then a lot of times, for better or worse, is I think we're on 8 executive orders at this point. So we put one out, and then we move on to the next one. When we wrote this order, and I responded to your email, but when we wrote this order, we thought that we were going to be overwhelmed with participants. Everybody was asking, why can't we do yoga in the park? Why can't we do, Tai Chi in the park? We thought we were going to be overwhelmed with participants. And the justification why we set it up that way was the outdoor business permits, in theory, is a one-time review. We issue a permit. they have that permit to use that space for the duration of the emergency. So we decided we're going to eat the cost for that one permit. I will, donate an hour of my time to try to help this business get some outdoor space. What we thought was going to happen with the park rentals was that there was going to be, this big demand to all use the parks, shared space, and we were going to have to coordinate and, figure out who can go where at what times. And we thought we were going to have a staff person here dedicated to this program, and that hasn't happened. So we were trying to charge it was a very reduced fee, and we were trying to charge that to cover the cost of that staff person.
Okay.
But I think to your point, and I always appreciate the feedback because it hasn't panned out that way. We haven't had overwhelming demand, and it's been pretty reliable of, this person asked for these days of the week. So it's something we will definitely look at.
And maybe with this, it's better. Maybe if doing the administrative part, maybe it's not a per use. Maybe maybe it would be better as a permit fee or a rental fee, and it can cover a month. And you pay for a little time there, because I absolutely think it's important to know who's in the parks doing what and making sure that we're clear that they're insured and that they're running. That it's all running smoothly. And I think that's super important.
That's really the thing for us, right? Is we want to make sure we know who's there using the space, that they are exactly what you said, that they're insured, that they know what they're doing. More than the $20 is not the issue for us.
Exactly, and that's my thought is just I don't want that stopping anyone because they are I think if we can get everyone registered and have a clear picture of who's there, because to be fair, there are people doing certain things in certain parks without permits at this point or without rental agreements. And so if you can do this for a small fee just for the application and not, be tracking how many times they're there and, for the fee portion, it might be good. So that's just a comment from, about the program. I think it's great that they're out there. I think moving things like this outdoors makes perfect sense.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I think from my perspective, I will talk to recreation. If something we can handle with our existing staff and we don't have an additional need for staff or anything, that's a change we should be able to make. So.
Okay. So no other comments. Future agenda items. Commissioners, anyone would like to add?
Just following up, of course, on the pickleball, obviously.
Okay. Standing item for pickleball. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't we add that as a standing on the last meeting?
Yes. And it was on as a discussion item tonight. So
yeah, perfect.
I'll put it back on there. Anything else from anyone? Okay. Not hearing any other items, I will adjourn our meeting at 6:36. Thanks for coming, you guys. I know. Wow.